Hello guys, welcome again to another episode of Our Lives in North America, and I'm your host and schemer, Kevin Fu. And today we have another special guest, and her name is Yonji. She's Korean, and she's currently in university. So talk about yourself.
Yeah, hi. My name is Yonji, and I'm currently third year at SFU, studying business, and I'm planning to concentrate in HR and marketing.
Good to know.
Yeah.
So let's talk about your life. So were you born here, or you were born like in Korea?
I was born and raised in Korea, and I moved here in my 10th grade actually, so when I was 16 years old. And yeah, actually the major purpose of moving to Canada was for the better education, and especially because my aunt and my cousin, they've been in Canada since 1997.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I thought Canada would be the best location for me to just strive for the better education.
Better education.
Mm-hmm.
So when you make the decision, so when you first come here, right, you have to know about Canada. What makes you to make the decision, and your parents too, make the decision to stay in Canada and, specifically Vancouver?
Okay, so I actually didn't choose the location. It was all dependent on my parents, and my mom wanted to move to Canada, especially Vancouver, because of my family are already here.
Yeah, your aunt.
Yeah, my aunt, my cousin.
Okay.
And also, I went to Burnaby because I did some research, and it says that Burnaby has a less population of like Asian, and my mom didn't want me to not hang out with Asians, but like more get
to learn more about Canadian culture, right?
I think that's why I chose Burnaby as my first start of high school location. And it's been actually really helpful because we didn't have a lot of Asian people in my high school. There were lots of just Canadians and international students, not just Korean like me, but from Europe, Italy and just France, just lots of different countries. So it was really good opportunity for me to learn other cultures and expand my point of view.
Yeah, it's good to know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I know you come here kind of at at a later time, so it would be hard for you to adapt, right? Since there will be some sort of language barriers, since you don't really understand Canadian culture when you first came here, and so struggles. Were there any struggles?
Definitely, there were lots of struggles, especially when I first came here, and I knew that I am gonna suffer. I struggled through the whole experience because I came here so late compared to other Asian people who immigrate to Canada, and it was true that I struggled a lot because of the language barrier, but also the cultural barrier as well. So they put me in ESL course first, and it helped me to learn English really quick actually. And since there were less Asian people, I was forced to hang out with just Canadian or other international students, and it did help me to learn obtain English just a lot faster than other people. And also at my house, my cousin, she prefers speaking English since she was born in here.
Yeah.
And
Canadian more Asian.
Yeah. And then she was kind of forcing me to speak English at home just for my sake, just to learn English faster. And that really helped me grow faster as well. But I realized there were no racism experiences at all at high school. Everyone's just so friendly, and teachers are so nice and just acceptable in any kind of ways.
Yeah, so I understand that you have a Korean cultural background. So during your early stages immigration, there will be some sort of clash between your Korean heritage and the Canadian culture. Were there any thing that you can talk about?
like any cultural crush.
kind of crash between the two cultures. Maybe sometimes. I mean, for me, when I first came here, I had this Chinese culture and values on me, and I had a hard time trying to learn about Canadian culture and values. My friends my friends, they talk about hockey, they talk about games, they talk about like Canadian stuff, and then there's just me just like, okay, good to know. I don't know anything about. I'm trying my best.
That's very true. I realized the biggest cultural difference was education.
Education.
Yeah. In Korea, my daily routine is just be at school since 8 a.m. till 5 p.m.
Oh,
and then there's an after-school study starting from like 6 p.m. and sometimes it ends at like 10 p.m. And so basically, I wasn't intrinsically interested in studying. However, it was just forced by just school education system.
Yeah.
But in here, what I realized is that like no one is forcing me to study. Like it's just from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. and that's it. There's no like after school study or any like study institution you have to go to. So I realized that like now I can just be truly intrinsically interested in studying in the field that I'm really highly interested. And I found that really cultural shock because no one is really making you to do something. It's really purely up to you to study. Yeah.
Well, I guess it's good that, but then I know freedom, like you get a lot of free time, but for all these like free time that you were kind of given when you moved to Canada, like what do you generally do during the free time? Do you just like go home and play, or like you have? I know there are clubs, and a lot of clubs, right? School clubs, and do you think is it like better than just kind of doing studies all day?
Definitely. In my high school year, I was involved with student government, so it is quite a lot of commitment. But after school, it does take a lot of your time and your just free time. But it helps you to just make new connections, meeting new people, and just that constant human interaction. Like I think it really helped me to go through my homesick actually. Yeah.
Homesick. So. So you're having homesick?
I am still having homesick, and like when I first came here, it was worse.
Yeah, I understand because like you don't know the language, the culture.
And even though I have my family here, like there are differences between just having my aunt around me and my mom. Like even though my aunt is just my second mom, however there's a like huge difference, huge gap that how you can react or how you can just like sometimes you just wanna like I don't know how to explain this. Sometimes you become baby to your mom.
I mean children tend to be reliable. Relying on parents.
But like to my aunt, I found it really hard to just rely on her.
Yeah.
Since she's not like biological mom.
It's not a direct family relationship. And so just from the conversation, I know your parents are not with you in Canada right now? So.
No, they're in Korea.
Oh, so it must be hard for you to just kind of come here by yourself. I know you stay at your aunt's house, but your direct family members are not here, and it will be hard for you.
It is hard, and I wish they can just move here with me, but that's just kind of selfish of me because they have their own life and their business in Korea. But I'm planning to just settle here. So I'm really loving the lifestyle of just living in Canada and the education that I'm having at university as well. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So since you live, in your aunt's house, what do you like? Do they have like a heavy Korean culture influence heritage? Like, do they have a lot of Korean culture, or do they have mostly North American, or do they have a mix of both?
I would say it's a mix of both. My cousin is basically Canadian. She went to this Korean school when she was young to learn Korean, but she's not 100% fluent. So I would say, because her first language is French, And her
French.
second, yeah, she
Whoa.
was born in Quebec. Yeah,
Oh.
and her second language is English, and that's why her Korean is not as good. But my aunt speaks fluent Korean, and she does make me this amazing Korean food, like Korean barbecue.
Yeah.
So, but I would say my taste still remains as Korean 100%. Yeah, so it was pretty much a mix of both culture, having my cousin and my aunt in the same house.
Yeah, so I guess your aunt must have been kind of. I guess she is amazing. Like I mean, she can speak like, Korean, cook Korean food, but at the same time, you know, she can speak English and
Yeah.
she take care of your cousins.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I mean, well, okay.
Yeah, I'm lucky to have them.
Yeah. So, did you face any like? Did you find anything like special, something strange about when we were at school or we were having our daily life? Did you find any kind of cultural difference that conflicts created from a cultural difference?
I do, especially like I wouldn't say it's racism, but
No, it's not. I mean, it's misunderstanding.
Yeah, but I face a lot of stereotypes at school. Like even though nowadays, like people ask me like, "Oh, I didn't know you're Korean. Your English is so good." Like, "Oh, it's only been 4 years," but so like those things doesn't offend me, but I sometimes question like, "Oh, why? What does it make you question me that?"
Yeah, it's really.
You experience this too,
yeah,
right?
I understand too.
Yeah.
Like sometimes I just talk to people and then they know that you came here for like 4 years, and then they will be like, "Whoa, you're really fluent at English."
Yeah, I think it's like really common stereotype that people make.
Yeah. Do you find it offensive or no?
Not at all, but sometimes people tend to be really culturally insensitive. Like people just ask me like, "Oh, I thought you're Chinese," or like, "Oh, do you speak Chinese?" Like.
So do you think like other people will be kind of annoyed or offended by it? By any chance?
Those like being culturally insensitive offends me sometimes.
Yeah.
Because not like all the Asians speak one language, but some people do think that Asians speak one language. Yeah.
Well, I guess there will always be this misunderstanding or people having because these stereotypes already exist or they were established by some like people that just a few people, but then they kind of just take their example and set it up as a stereotype for all Asian people. Yeah, I guess.
Sometimes just the overgeneralization like offends people. Yeah.
And there's something racially insensitive.
Yeah.
That. What about like I'm not sure, but does like maybe your Korean family or friends what do they think? Are there any stereotypes created by them about like Canada, Canadians, maybe Caucasians, or not really? Their understanding is just what people generally think.
I would say I can't generalize all the Koreans, but
Yeah,
if I think about like my family, they're really just accepting all the cultures and they don't really make a stereotype.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say there isn't any.
I mean that's like, good to know.
Yeah.
Because personally I've overheard people that are they're Asian, they're kind of new immigrants, they come here, but then they kind of always have some random stereotypes, and that will kind of just frighten me when they kind of just speak out of nowhere, and then it's just
definitely.
Yeah.
I would too.
Wow. Okay. So just to conclude our conversation, so you talk about how you didn't really face like racial discrimination. It would just it would just kind of struggle of yourself trying to learn the language to understand the culture, and then I can tell that you adapted really fast to this it's a multicultural society, right? And then you bring your own piece of culture, but then you're able to keep that and also to have your North American culture too. I mean, this is just great. Thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.